Hi, I'm Michael Goldfarb, founder of Guardian HR, and I hope you found this webinar extremely informative, listening to a really seasoned, great plaintiff lawyer explain to you as employers the nature of employment law-related lawsuits and what a plaintiff lawyer looks for in terms of ammunition. My background is I'm an ex-defense counsel, meaning I represented employers in employment law lawsuits. And what I want to talk to you about right now is what's called employers' practices liability insurance, sometimes referred to as EPLI coverage. The first thing I'm going to tell you as an employer who's been practicing in this area for well over 30 years is every employer should have EPLI, and you need to talk to your brokers about lining up with those policies. And I want to just illustrate what EPLI coverage is and why it's so vital. So first of all, EPLI is a type of insurance employers can get that covers you as a company for employment law related claims and lawsuits, because guys, those are not covered under your GL policies or anything else. And if you don't have EPLI, you're flying blind basically. And if you get sued by an employee, you are not covered. You're on your own and you're going to be forking out money from your own wallet. I'm not speaking out of school when I tell you just turn on your television and look at the amount of law firms today advertising, hey, if you're a disgruntled employee, call us, right? So this is big business from the plaintiff bar side of things, and something as an employer you need to be aware of. So let me illustrate why EPLI coverage is so vital and so valuable to an employer. The best example I can give you is generally how an employment lawsuit plays out in terms of the cost it's going to impose on your business. So first of all, under most statutes, state statutes, at least a lot of them, when an employer is involved in one of these lawsuits, if you lose the case, and by the way, statistics show that overwhelmingly the employees will be victorious in these cases. And if you're wondering why that is, well, if any of you have served jury duty, you're probably aware 10 to 11 out of 12 jurors are not employers, they're employees. And so when you're in front of a jury in a lawsuit, you are not in front of a favorable audience. And that's the biggest reason I would tell you that you're already behind the 8 ball in terms of your chances of success. Now, when you or if you were to lose that lawsuit, again, going back to what I was talking about in terms of the statute, you are by law most likely going to be responsible to pay not just your own legal fees, but the plaintiff, the employee's fees as well. And let me give you an example of what those fees can generally amount to. Today, most seasoned employment lawyers are going to bill out at somewhere around $500 or more per hour. And I will tell you, and you can go and ask most lawyers, and I think they back me up on this, that from the time you receive the first notification that you have a potential claim to the point that you get to the courtroom steps, you're now looking at a legal bill at that point of somewhere around $100,000 to $150,000 in legal fees. Then you're probably looking at a 2-week trial, I would say minimum. Between all the conversations and motions that go on between the lawyers and the judge, you're looking at your lawyer billing probably 8 to 10, 11 hours per day, Monday through Friday, and then working through the weekend, so that by the end of the trial, you can tack on another $100,000 to your legal bill. Now you're looking at $250,000 in legal fees. Guess what? If you lose this case, you're paying the other side's legal fees as well. And I will tell you, just like the defense side, it's going to be in that $250,000 range. So now you're looking at close to $500,000 just in attorney's fees. I haven't even talked to you about the damages the employee was awarded by that jury, because typically, let's say it's a sexual harassment type case, you're probably looking $150,000 in damages. Now you're $650,000 to $750,000 in terms of the financial burden of this lawsuit. And that judge is going to order that to be paid within 45 days. Well, that's where EPLI coverage comes in. First of all, it's going to help you obtain legal representation. And guess what? You're not going to be paying $250,000 because when your coverage kicks in, the insurance carrier is going to pay that law firm to defend you. So that's a huge financial burden off your back, okay? Now, if the case goes south, and as I said, that can happen, and there's a big damage award, the carrier steps in and pays the damages, just as in like an automobile case. So you're not on the hook for those damages. And similarly, they will cover the victorious side plaintiff lawyer. They'll pay those fees as well. So you can imagine the relief you're going to feel knowing you're covered. That's where EPLI fits in. Now, Guardian HR has worked tirelessly over the last decade to build a product, a service, gives employers so much strength and legal compliance that we were able to partner with A-level insurance carriers so that if you are a client of ours, you can receive tremendous discounts on the premiums you'd have to pay to obtain this coverage. You'll get higher spending coverage in terms of what the carrier will pay out on damage awards, and you'll have to pay less in terms of deductibles and what we call retentions. And why? All because you have Guardian HR helping you in the background. How do we help you? Well, we custom create your employee handbooks. We do audits of your entire HR protocols and processes. And you have a dedicated HR professional guiding you every day through all the trials and tribulations of HR. But more than that, you have access to our employment lawyers to make sure that you're legally compliant. Those features of our program are what drew the insurance carriers to us. If you have the power of Guardian HR compliance behind you, we're confident that those likely claims and lawsuits are going to be extremely limited. And so because of that relationship with Guardian HR, we're going to cut you, the employer, some significant financial discounts on your EPLI coverage. So my recommendation to all of you would be is talk to your brokers. We don't sell insurance. We're not an insurance broker, and we don't play in that space. We're a legal compliance and HR advice enterprise. So we suggest you speak with your broker and say, hey, I've got Guardian HR. I need EPLI coverage. Can you help me find out how I can get those discounts? And, again, I'm just going to reiterate that as an employment attorney and the founder of Guardian HR, please do yourself a favor and get yourself EPLI coverage. I hope you enjoyed the webinar. I hope you become a client. Thank you.